Hi everyone, it's Corinne from 924 Creative, here with a video today to show you how to properly apply a decal to a spherical surface such as this wine glass. This wine glass curves both vertically and horizontally, and sometimes that can make it difficult to apply a flat decal to a surface such as this without warping. This video will show you how to do that with ease. The first thing we'll go over is some of the supplies that you need in order to apply your decal. If you're applying your decal to a surface that is visibly dirty, you'll want a lint-free cloth, such as a towel. You would not want to use a paper towel or a tissue because that's going to leave some lint on the surface that's going to make it hard for the decal to adhere. You may want to use some glass cleaner with that lint-free cloth to properly clean your surface. My surface is relatively clean. You'll want the instructions that came with the decal on how to apply, or this video. You'll want to use the decal application kit that came with. Inside you'll find an applicator tool, either a popsicle stick or one of these plastic credit card like applicators depending on the type of decal that you purchased. The applicator kit also comes with some alcohol prep pads and a practice decal. Now the alcohol prep pad allows you to prepare the surface before you want to apply the decal. Any oils from your skin that would be on the surface are going to make it difficult for the decal to adhere properly. And the practice decal allows you to just try this out once with a decal, and then you can take it off and remove it and properly clean the surface with the second alcohol prep pad before using the decal that you paid for. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take that alcohol prep pad and you're going to just wipe it over the surface that you're going to apply the decal. Like I said before, this is just going to get all of the oils off from your skin. The alcohol is something that evaporates very quickly, which allows you to continue to work with the surface without needing to have a lengthy dry time. So it's hard for you to see on the video there, but the alcohol that I wiped down there is already dried and evaporated off the surface, so we can move forward. We're going to set that aside. You want to take your decal, and there's actually 3 layers to this decal. The top layer is the transfer tape. The next layer below that is the decal itself. I don't know if you can see that on the video. And then the third layer is the paper backing that the decal came on. Now, what happens is over time, these layers may potentially separate a little bit. So in the mail, especially with heat, cold temperature changes. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your decal, you want to take your application tool, and you want to rub over the surface so that you get the 3 layers adhering properly. Really, you want the top layer to properly adhere to the decal itself. I recommend you do this from both sides, the front and the back. It allows you to really get some good contact there. The other thing I didn't mention that you do want to have on hand is a pair of scissors. This will help you as we're applying it. There might be some areas where the decal will buckle, and I'll show you how to clip the transfer tape to make that more smooth. So once you've properly adhered the 2 layers together, we're going to go ahead and pull off the paper backing. Now we're going to pull it off nice and gentle, because if we happen to notice an area where the decal does not want to stick to the transfer tape for some reason, it's not happening here, but if it did, you would just put the paper back down, burnish it again with the tool to get a really good connection between the decal and the transfer tape, and then you would just lift it back up again and you'd pull off that backing. As you're pulling off the backing, make sure that you're only touching the transfer tape and not the decal. If you do touch the decal itself, again, the oils from your skin are going to interfere with the adhesive and it's not going to adhere to your glass properly. So now that we've got our surface prepared and our decal ready, we're going to apply it. Now, I like to apply it on a surface such as a towel or my lap even, to help keep the glass where I want it to sit. So this will help if you kind of roll it up and tuck it around the glass. It'll keep the glass from rolling underneath you as you apply this. So now what you want to do is you want to lay out the decal on your surface starting in the center. So I'm keeping the edges peeled away and I'm starting in the center as I'm applying, and I'm working my way out, and I'm just slowly rubbing it with my finger to get it applied. Now here you'll notice, here's an example of what I was referring to before. Let me see if I can get this up here high enough where you can see. There's kind of a buckle in the transfer tape because we're applying this to a multi-dimensional object. What you would do in that instance is just slide your scissors underneath there slightly, clipping the transfer tape. This will allow you to slightly overlap the transfer tape in some spots, but it allows the decal itself to just kind of stretch and fit along the surface. So you're going to just keep applying it as you go. When you see areas where it buckles, again, go underneath, clip it slightly with the scissor, and that will allow it to all lay nice and flat. Then what you're going to do is just keep working your way along the decal, repeating this as you go, clipping it in areas where you feel it's necessary so that it will lay flat and go along. The last thing you want to do once you have it generally applied is you want to take that burnishing tool, or in this case you can also just use the back of your fingernail, and you want to really burnish the decal to the glass surface. So you're going to do this all the way along the word to really get a good connection between the decal and the glass. If you run into a problem area, again, just continue to clip that transfer tape so that it will lay smooth. There you go. Once you have this applied, the next step is to remove the transfer tape. What we're going to want to do in this step is we're going to want to make sure that we're removing it at a 180-degree angle to the glass. Now you might occasionally have that happen. What just happened there to me is as I was doing it, it was pulling up the decal with it. If that happens, simply lay the decal and the transfer tape back down, take your burnishing tool or your fingernail, and apply some more friction. Then try again, slowly rolling it back, and if you see there, the decal is now adhering properly. So we're just going to keep slowly rolling it back. There's another spot where it's having a difficult time adhering. Burnish it again, then slide it back. If it does start to lift slightly, in that case there, you see there's a slight bubble in the decal. All you do is come back later with your finger, rub it down, and then we'll finish burnishing that at the last step. So I'm going to pull the decal, the transfer tape off the decal all the way along the length of the decal. There you have it, properly applied. Here's another spot where it slowly started to lift. I'm not sure if you'll see that on the video. Where it slowly started to lift from the glass as I was peeling it off. Just going to gently tap it down, smooth it down. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that transfer tape and I'm going to apply it over the surface, and I'm going to burnish it again over the transfer tape. This way I get more friction, but I'm not risking scratching the decal off. You can do the same thing with the paper and your fingernail. Get some good friction in there. It's going to lead to a longer lasting decal for you. Okay? Now, you'll see here that it is properly applied. We don't have any bubbles or buckling in the decal itself. And the one thing that's really nice about these vinyl decals that I use is the material does have flexibility to it because it's a nice thin material. It will curve very nicely to a glass surface. The transfer tape does not curve as nicely, which is why we make the little cuts and nicks to it, which then allows it to be applied to a glass surface like this, a globular surface like this, very nicely and easily. The last bit of information I'd like to give you here is be sure that you allow this to cure for 48 to 72 hours before you're using it or washing it. You also do not want to put this in the microwave or the dishwasher. The heat from the microwave or the dishwasher is going to loosen this adhesive and the decal will fall off. You want to hand wash these only, and you don't want to soak them in water. I hope that tutorial made it easier for you to apply your decal. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My email address is contact924creative@yahoo.com. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/924creative. You can also find me on Etsy at www.924creative.etsy.com. Thank you.